What is up, guys? We're here with the MMBA. This is actually Moon Bat Association. This is actually Season 3, Week 1. Our opponent is actually Adam, coach of the Pittsburgh Primarinas. I'm just going to hop right into this. If you guys are hyped for this, feel free to drop a like down below and subscribe as well. That'd be awesome. Really does help me out if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future. I also have the team builder for this, which I will link in the description. I go over my entire team in the team builder and what we bring and why we're bringing it, and I go over my opponent's team. My opponent's actually bringing Mega Gyarados, Delmise, Rotom Heat, which I was actually terrified of once I got into this match. Uxie, Zygarde, and Celesteela, which pretty much everything except from Rotom was kind of what I predicted him to bring, to be honest. Also, there was a possibility of Aggron, which he actually is dropping Aggron now for, I think, Ninjask or some shit, I think, in this next week. So, definitely a very, very key match here. Starting off the season, either we can start with a loss or a win here. So he's going to be with the Mega Gyarados. He does not have to Mega Evolve on turn 1. So I'm going to lead with Talonflame here. It outspeed everything on his team. And also I kind of predicted him actually maybe with something that would counter Krookodile. I kind of wanted to get my rocks up just because he only has Dalmise, which is very weak to Krookodile, and really can't spin on it without taking a shitload of damage. He does lead with the Gyarados. I can outspeed here. I actually predicted him either go for Waterfall or Dragon Dance here. I can outspeed before the Dragon Dance. I go for the U-turn here. It does a solid amount, even at -1. At actually neutral, it does around about, I think, a little bit more than that, like 15 points more. 15% more, I mean. Going to Fish Lips here. This thing is specifically designed for Mega Gyarados. Like I said, you guys gotta watch Team Builder. I really am not gonna go through too many of the sets in this video just because it's a pretty long match. My opponent also accused me for timer stalling. He actually thought I was timer stalling towards the end of this match, and he actually accused me that when I actually got done with the match. I actually saw him typing in the chat accusing me of timer stalling, which I was not timer stalling. Believe me, if you know I'm timer stalling, you'll know. There's a difference between timer stalling and thinking about your moves. Definitely. You'll know if I'm timer stalling, so I don't know why you're so worried about timer stalling. He goes into the Celesteela here. I go for Leech Seed, which was a straightforward play. This thing is pretty much like a red sign here that he has Air Slash or some type of flying move, like possibly Fly or Air Slash here. Go into Milotic to absorb that. He can't Leech Seed me either when I'm in on Venusaur. I can Leech Seed him and stall him down if I need to. It does go for the Air Slash, so we know one of his moves. Judging by that damage, he is either defensive or special defensive. It's nothing really offensively invested, so pretty standard defense or Celesteela is what it looks like. No leftovers though, so I'm not quite sure what his item is. Goes on to the Dalmise here, which was a bit of a obvious switch in. I just go for the Skull just because there's that burn chance. If you want to go on anything, there's always a chance for burn. Now right here, again, my opponent was getting very, very salty like during the battle when I actually wasn't even looking at there's actually a Discord chat, if you guys do not know, there's a Discord chat of pretty much all the coaches in the league. My opponent was very salty about the burn, and there's actually another play where I actually go for a burn in this match, which you guys will see. Scald has a 30% chance to burn, so there's really nothing I can do about it. It's not like I'm burning him on purpose or it's like really big hacks. There's a chance to burn there, so you always have to take that risk when you switch something in. It's kind of out of my control, so it's not really that hacksy, because it's pretty much expected. And then he was complaining about like a Will-O-Wisp, which you guys will see, like I said, which it's just smart planning on my part. I'm not quite sure why he's mad about that. Not gonna take too much about it though, or think too much about it. Just because the match is over with, it really doesn't matter. Goes on to the Rotom here. He does go for the Overheat. Now, judging by this damage here, I do know that he actually has Specs, so that does a shitload of damage. I'm fully special defensive, and that does a lot. So I know he's fully invested, and I think he's either timid or modest. Timid or modest with Choice Specs. Was kind of fearing a Choice Scarf as well, just because Choice Scarf outspeeds Talonflame, and that can always come in on Talonflame and threaten it out, which I really did not want. And Vol Switch around, which would have been a huge problem. Rotom, he was a huge problem for me in this match, just because I really had like a specific switch in. Either just being Specs kind of does help me though, just because I can either it can't burn me, which is good, just because it has to lock itself into something that can burn me, like a Willow. Yeah, either has to lock itself into like Overheat or Voltage or Thunderbolt is pretty much what it has to lock itself into, and I can always play mind games with that. So I think being Specs, my opponent being Spec, did help me in this match with his Rotom. If he was like a Life Orb set or something like that, then I don't think it would be. I think it would be actually more of a problem for me to deal with. So I think we actually got lucky with Specs set. And him being Specs, my Crocodile can outspeed it as well, and pretty much kill it after I think Rocks with Rock Slide. So I think being Specs was a little bit easier for us to deal with. Pretty much a lot of switching around here. A lot of this first part of this match was just pretty much getting damage off on whatever. He tries getting damage off on me. I have a lot of recovery. I have recovery on Melodic and Venusaur. His Mons really don't have the best recovery, so it's just mostly me trying to get chip damage on a lot of his Mons. Now if I had Stealth Rocks up early in this match, that would help a lot as well. One of my priorities does begin to be getting my Stealth Rocks up, because I know they need those up for the late cleaning of this match, to have Crocodile or Talonflame come in and start cleaning up a lot of these Mons, just because he's very, very weak to Talonflame. Pretty much once the Zygarde, I think once the Zygarde and the Rotom are gone, he's really weak to the Talonflame. Ooks doesn't want to be coming in on U-turns, stuff like that, so once I get those two Mons gone, I can pretty much clean up with Talonflame or Crocodile as well. It's kind of getting damage off here. Judging by the things moveset so far, he has Leech Seed, Air Slash, Protect. I'm assuming either Toxic or Heavy Slam. We never do see its last move, so that's what I'm assuming at this point in the match. There's also a possibility for like Energy Ball, but if he would have had Energy Ball, he would have already went for it right here. So I'm assuming it's either Heavy Slam or Toxic, just because we don't see it. You can switch out here. Gonna go out into the Anchor again. I go for the Skull. Just getting chip damage on this thing is really nice. And he does have me Leech Seeded, which does suck. So those things have been getting a lot more damage back than I'm doing to it. But having it burned really does help me out, just because every time, pretty much even if he wasn't burned, every time I can go into Mega Venusaur on this thing, it can't do shit to me. Unless it's like a Swords Dance variant, but even if it is Swords Dance variant, it's not going to be Assault Vest, which more than likely is what this thing is, just because it doesn't have leftovers. And I was able to like do a lot more with Sludge Bomb against the thing, and I can recover up on it. So gonna go ahead and make a Venusaur here. He actually goes for the Power Whip. Power Whip does like 5 damage, so like laughable damage right here, like 5 or 6 damage there. Now I can either go for the Sludge Bomb here, or I can go for a Leech Seed. Maybe I should have went for a Leech Seed on this turn. Celesteela is a bit of an obvious switch in here, or Uxie is a bit of an obvious switch in. I did go for the Leech Seed, just because there was really no drawback to it. I was going to go for the Sludge Bomb because I kind of wanted that thing gone, but at the same time he could have switched out. Again, we know this thing is choice specs, so from pretty much Fuai, Overheat does around about, I think, 77 to like 85%. So if I can keep myself around that range, I can take 1 Overheat, depending on the roll as well. So if I keep myself around that range, I can take 1 Overheat and get a Sludge Bomb off and get some damage off on that Rotom if I really need to, or get like a Leech Seed on it or something and switch out. Goes for the Volt Switch, breaking the Milotic to come in. Again, goes out into this thing. I go for a Leech Seed again. Leech Seed is what I actually go for. He actually predicts the Rotom or the Milotic to come in again. I think that's what he was predicting. Going for Leech Seed, slowly getting a little bit of damage on this thing. I think if Rocks were up right now, this thing would be pretty much dead already. So I kind of stuck. I kind of really need to get my Rocks up at this point, just to get this thing gone. This thing is a huge threat to my team. Goes for the Volt Switch again. Again, from that range, I could have taken Overheat barely, but I would have taken it. And I got a Sludge Bomb off. He does go out into the Celesteela again, as I do go for the, I think, Sludge Bomb here, or the Synthesis, actually. I think it was either Synthesis or Sludge Bomb, I can't talk. I was going to go for there. Again, go for the Leech Seed here. Air Slash, I wanted to see how much Air Slash would do to me. That's why I really went for the Leech Seed right there. I know I can at least take 1 Air Slash, because we know he's not Specs. And we know he has Protect and Leech Seed on his set. So he's not Specs, or he's not really offensive, judging from the damage from my Milotic. So I can take 1. It does a little bit less than 50%. So I want to keep that thing healthy just because I need it around for Zygarde and the Gyarados still. I really don't want to get him too low, just so I can't really switch in on him. Goes for the Air Slash again. Milo can eat this up for days. Getting to the point where I kind of do need to recover here. but with the leech seed damage, I'm in a pretty good spot to where I can take another one and get some damage off here, which I really kind of do need on the thing at this point in the match. Now right here, he actually is going to switch out here. Again, going out into this. I actually thought he was going to go into the anchor again. Goes on to this thing. Ice Beam. I actually go for the Ice Beam, predicting the anchor to come in. That's why I actually predicted here. But goes on to this thing. It does a decent amount of damage. Really can't quite tell what he has. We do not see any leftovers, so I'm assuming this is his Z-Mod. Wasn't quite sure what he really had for me. I predict here like either like a maybe like a Gigavolt Havoc or something. That's why I go into this thing, or like a Thunderbolt possibly, or just him setting up his rocks here. Goes for the Toxic. Ron Jeremy being toxic really doesn't do too much to me. I'd rather have this thing being toxic than Milotic. Just because Milotic is such a key player so far in this match, I really need to keep it around. Just have switch-ins for a lot of his mons still. Ron Jeremy really can't do too much. Right here, I really need to get my rocks up. I'm not quite sure if he predicted a crunch or what, but I'm pretty sure that's what he predicted. I'm going to get my rocks up here. Now, my priority right now is to keep him from rapid spinning, because I need these rocks up to win the game. And start getting a lot of these switches and take some damage when he comes in. So can't let him rapid spin. I cannot let him do that. So I need to prevent him from rapid spinning. Not going to stay on this thing. I do predict a Dragon Dance here. Either a Dragon Dance or like a Waterfall or a Crunch or something like that. If one makes a good play, and I should go for the Crunch, predicting Mega Venusaur to come in. So good play by my opponent. I can't take another Crunch here, so I do go for the Synthesis here. Just so I can keep this thing healthy. I need this thing around for the Gyarados still, just because the Gyarados is still around. Once I get it below 50%, it's not really that big of an issue anymore. Just because I'm coming in with Hitmonlee if I really need to, and pick it out for the Mach Punch then. Just need to keep it around to wear it down a little bit more. And for the Celesteela, just because Celesteela can't Leech Seed me and spam Leech Seed. It does go for the Overheat here. We barely live. It did, again, I told you guys it did around, I think it was like 77 to like 80 something percent. So, not quite sure if that was a low roll or not there. Again, really didn't matter if we went down there or not, just because I would have went right out into Milotic either way. He's locked in. I know he's specs at this point in the match, so at -2, Overheat really isn't going to be doing too much, and I get a free Scald or Ice Beam off right here. Now, right here, either he has something coming in and actually take a Scald, which he really has nothing that wants to come in and take a Scald. With Rocks damage, Celesteela gets two-shotted with Scald, I think, and there's also a possibility for a burn there. Goes on to the anchor. I just click Scald here. There's really nothing that wants to come in and take a Scald. This thing takes Rocks damage, Scald damage, and burn damage. Even if he is Assault Vest, if I can get him down low enough to where I can kill him with an Ice Beam, then we don't have to worry about him getting rid of those rocks, and those rocks are there to stay. So I'm going to take the risk here on this next turn, actually go for the Ice Beam. It's going to be very, very close, depending on his set. I'm not quite sure if he's like max HP, max special defense. I'm assuming he's Assault Vest, just because we haven't saw an item. I go for the Ice Beam, and it actually picks up the KO, so rocks are here to stay. Keeping the rocks up means that Rotom is also dead upon switching, so no more worrying about Rotom. Definitely keeps Milotic a lot healthier, and Venusaur healthier as well if I can recover that thing back up. Now right here, I do have the haze for this thing, so I'm not really too scared of it. I know he's going to Dragon Dance here, just because by the way he brought it in. There's really nothing he can really touch me with. He can't kill me with a Crunch. I pretty much just want to get the damage off on this thing, to where I can come in with Talonflame and go for the Brave Bird. That's really what I want to do. I'm still at full with Talonflame, so I do get the priority. This thing does not get Aqua Jet, so again, and there's also a possibility for a burn, so I can just keep going for the burn here. 30% chance. Crunch, we barely lived the Crunch. I'm very surprised we actually really lived the Crunch there. I think that was a matter of rule. I don't know. I have to go back and calc that if I really want to know. We do get the burn. I guess it really doesn't matter, just because on this next turn I would have came in with Talonflame again and actually killed with Brave Bird. So burn really doesn't matter too much here. He's going to pick me off no matter what, just because he outspeeds. I clicked Recover in case he wants to go for like another Dragon Dance. Kills me with the Crunch here, so Milotic does go down. Now right here I'm going to go into Fire Revenge again, and I'll come in with the Brave Bird, priority Brave Bird here, and actually pick this thing off. I'm at full. So Talonflame getting the first kill of the match. He has nothing that really wants to take a Brave Bird. If he went out into the Celesteela, I could have went for the Flare Blitz on the next turn and killed that thing. So has to let this thing pretty much go down. And yeah, Talonflame getting the first kill here. Just going to Zygarde here. Now Zygarde cannot kill me with knee speed from this range, so I do stay in here, and I'm actually debating whether to U-turn out. If he's like faster than me and goes for E-speed, U-turn out and go out into the Ninetales here. Now I do have Will-O-Wisp on this set, and that is what I choose to go for. There was a possibility of him being like Lumberry, but it was a possibility of him being like a Z-Mon as well. I do find out he's actually Choice Scarfed, so that's very, very key information to know. This burn is really going to help us in this match, just because we can pretty much take less damage and switch in upon this thing, and I really don't have to worry about too much damage at least. We do know it's Choice Scarf now as well, so keeping our Ninetales around is a priority. I do go into Ron Jeremy here just to get the Intimidator off. I wanted to keep my Talonflame around just because I can use the Z move still. Nothing really wants to take a Z move late game, and I still need it around for Celesteela, so that's really the reason why I came and keep it around. Do have the toxic damage here to actually kind of winding me down a little bit. Doesn't really matter too much, just because Ron Jeremy is pretty much only good for Uxie at this point in the match as well. He does sack the Rotom here, which was I was thinking he was going to probably sack the thing as well. Was pretty much only play, just because he has nothing that really wants to take a crunch at this point in the match. Now right here he actually goes down into the Celesteela with Rocks damage. Wasn't quite sure if he's going to take a crunch from this range. He looks a bit too high for a crunch damage. I'm going to save the thing for the Intimidate, so that's really the reason why I switch out here. I sack my Mega Venusaur. Apart from him going for like Leech Seed, maybe that's what I was predicting here. He does go for the Air Slash, so good play by my opponent. If he went for Leech Seed, I would have been able to outspeed and at least get some damage or Leech Seed him. So it does get the Beast Boost here. Special defense doesn't really matter. I have nothing that's really especially offensive on our team apart from Ninetales at this point in the match. I go out into Talonflame here. I click the Z move. Inferno Overdrive. He has nothing that wants to take an Inferno Overdrive at this point. He switches out to Celesteela, so when that thing comes in from Rocks, I can easily revenge kill that thing if I need to. Inferno Overdrive is still going to do a shitload to this thing, and this thing does not outspeed me on the next turn, so I can kill it with possibly like Brave Bird or Flare Blitz if I need to, or just U-turn out again. So go for the Inferno Overdrive. It does a lot of damage actually. It does more than I actually thought it would be. So brings it down to the point where I can kill again with Brave Bird or U-turn. I go for the U-turn here. It kills no matter what. So even if he was like defensive. So U-turn out. I can't keep this thing around still just because it pressures the Celesteela very well. That's the really reason I did keep it around. I go into Ron Jeremy here just because if you want to go into Zygarde, he does get the Intimidate drop. Again, Toxic really doesn't matter too much. I'm kind of ready to stack Ron Jeremy off if I need to. He goes on to Celesteela now. At this point, it was a point of a roll. If he was like a little bit defensively invested, the crunch would not have killed here. I go for the crunch, hoping to pick this thing off, and we do pick this thing off. So Ron Jeremy does get a kill here against Celesteela, which is very nice. All he has left is the Zygarde, which we know is Choice Scarfed at this point in the match. Ron Jeremy does have some usefulness as well, having the Intimidate. So if I need to keep the Intimidate around, that's really what I decided to do here. I make the best play, keeping the Intimidator around for this thing in case the thing just does get out of hand. I sack the Talonflame here, which was my least expendable member at this point. Kind of a shame having Talonflame go down after it did all that work in this match, and it was a very, very key player in this match. I'm going to sack it off here. I just made the more smarter play, just keeping the Intimidate pressure around if I needed it. That's really all that play was. Maybe I could have sacked the Krookodile there as well, but I just wanted to make the smarter play in case, again, it got cut out of hand. So, going into the Ninetales here. 1,000 arrows will not kill me no matter what, even with a crit. So it's pretty much GG at this point. It goes for 1,000 arrows, does around like 30%, 30-35% there. So, and Blizzard, it picks up the one-hit KO here. I am extra belt, so it's gonna pick it up. Barely legal coming through with the last kill of the match, and we actually do pick up a 3-0 victory here. So very, very nice win on my part. I played very, very well in this match. I do think so, and I think we prepped very well as well. Also, shout out to Nazir. He actually got these mons for me, and I really appreciate him actually generating these mons, just because A lot of mons this season I really can't breed. I've been breeding like a lot of like Smeargle and like Talonflame and like Vulpix and stuff like that, but apart from that, there's really not too many things I can really breed, to be honest. Milotic you need to trade for, Dusknoir you need to trade, so there's really not too much, and like I have a lot of legendaries on my draft as well, which I really can't get without genning, so thanks to him for genning this team. Pick up a 3-0. Next week we're going to be going against Lucanosa, Lucarios, and Bran, which I haven't faced for like, I don't know, like 3 seasons. I haven't faced them since like season 2 or 3 of the OBA, so definitely going to be a good match. Yeah, depending on when you guys will be seeing this. I think this will be up Sunday or Monday, so Team Builder should be ready up if you guys did not see the Team Builder. That'll be in the description, like I said earlier. If you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. That was having a good day. See you guys in the next video. Peace.